Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening and watching. If this video has found you, there's a message here for you, but please take what resonates and leave the rest. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 ways that you can defeat a narcissist. Now, let me preface this by saying that I am not a doctor, and narcissistic personality disorder is a real thing. And there are diagnoses of all different kinds for this type of disorder. Having said that, I am going to talk about people that display narcissistic tendencies, but take what resonates and leave the rest, okay? Narcissists are energy vampires. That's the first thing you need to understand, that they need other people to feed off of. They are cowards because they fear true intimacy. Something happened to this person and they decided not to heal, right? Something traumatic happened and it affected their ability to connect to people in an authentic way. They see people as commodities, as food. Now, most of the time when we're talking about narcissists, we're talking about exes, people that we used to be in a relationship with. But a narcissist can be anybody. This could be a friend, a family member. I'm being guided to say this, that you have family members and then there's people that you are related to. We don't have a choice as to who we're related to, but we do have a choice as to who we call family, okay? And you know, if you've listened to my videos for a while, I often challenge the ideas of reconciliation, of forgiving and forgetting. We have to decide for ourselves if these ideas are right for us, even if it's right collectively, or it's the right thing to do in everybody else's eyes, or it's what we've been taught to do. Is that right for you? I can't think of anyone whose relationship has improved after a reconciliation. Maybe for a while things get better, but more often than not, things get worse. Or one or the other people, or both of you just learn to accept the bullshit and settle. That's what I believe happens 98% of the time. But again, that's just my opinion. Energetically speaking, narcissist or somebody with narcissistic tendencies has a blocked heart chakra. So they're not able to have real connections with people. They're only able to use people. And I honestly feel like when you start your spiritual journey, that's the first thing you need to work on is your heart chakra. People like to do the fun stuff, right? The third eye, so I can learn what my psychic abilities are, or the root or sacral chakra, so I can get money and things. But the heart chakra is the bridge between the lower and the upper chakras. So I think that should be the first thing that you work on. I also feel that some narcissists have a blocked third eye chakra too. They're not able to see things for what they really are. They don't trust their intuition and follow it. They don't have a real true spiritual connection because, again, that involves the heart chakra, all right? I feel like the only emotion that narcissists are able to truly feel is rage when they're not getting what they want, when they're not able to control people, situations, and things. Understand, too, that a narcissistic person cannot be fixed. You can't pray away narcissistic tendencies. You can't ignore them because these people don't think anything is wrong with them. So even when you look at psychologists and when they're treating narcissists, they say it's very, very challenging for a narcissist to recover. Now, there are 3 ways to defeat a narcissist. The first one is no contact. No phone calls, no emails, no visits, not even allowing that person in your energy or aura. And I know that this can be hard, especially if you have an emotional attachment to this person. But no matter how depressed you've ever been, you have gotten over it, okay? And remember that narcissists thrive off of attention and emotional reactions. And you can kill anything if you don't feed it, right? Think of a plant. If you don't water it, it's going to die. If you don't feed your pets, they're going to die. If you don't feed a narcissist, theoretically and hypothetically, they're going to die, at least out of your life. So no contact, as hard as that is the first step. The second step is cord cutting. Remember that narcissists are energy vampires, so you have to cut those cords. And you may have to do this several times, again, because you have the emotional attachment too. So there's a lot of energy clearing and cord cutting that needs to take place if you're truly going to rid your life of narcissistic energy. The third tip or step is becoming an empowered empath. Now, there are three sub-tips to becoming an empowered empath. The first one is self-love. When you love yourself, when you truly love yourself, you cannot and will not be used by anyone because you're giving that energy to yourself. And narcissists need all of your attention. They don't want you to love them. You love yourself. They want you to love them. So when you focus on self-love, that is how you become empowered enough to realize that you deserve better. The second sub-tip is shadow work. When you can identify your triggers, when you know what your buttons are, when you know the things that piss you the fuck off, the things that irritate you, then they can't be used against you because you're aware of them. And you'll know when somebody's trying to flip the script, turn the tables, and project onto you or use your triggers against you because you know what they are. The third tip is energy protection, your way. When I first realized that I was an empath, I also realized that I was surrounded by narcissists that were feeding off of my energy. And that's what happens, right? You become aware of what you are and what's happening. So I began to protect my energy, and that is personal to you. I do a lot of things to protect my energy from narcissists, but you have to do what's right for you, all right? And that could look like, again, going no contact, cord cutting. That could look like self-love. That could look like, using your crystals, shielding yourself, or just controlling your emotions, having emotional stability. Not reacting, not responding, because again, that's what they want and that's how they cord you. So really, defeating a narcissist means that you have to become an empowered empath. That's the only way. And I feel like that's the only way to keep these kind of energies out of your life. All right? So I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I thank you so much for your donations. May they be returned to you 1,000-fold. Thank you again and have a wonderful day. Namaste.